Keller. Pam, is this story about the guns or about lack of parental supervision?
This story is about unfortunate incidents that took place. It's a terrible tragedy. I would hate to see that this painful accident would be used to further a political agenda, used to exploit a political agenda. It was tragic what happened. Who would have imagined that a 3-year-old could actually undo his child seat and then find the gun under the seat of the car and then shoot himself? This is a horrible, tragic accident, and my thoughts are with the family. They must be.
Of course. Yeah, but Pam, we can't avoid discussing the fact that guns left unattended, guns are the perpetrating instruments here, and I blame the parents. I really do. I blame the gun handlers. I mean, that to me is the egregious part of this, but you blame the guns.
Well, of course the parents are to blame, but we in this country have no commitment even to requiring parents to lock away loaded guns when toddlers are around. And that's how lax our gun laws are. And we don't have to speculate. We know that the United States has more guns per capita than any other country in the world. Number 2 is Yemen, an undeveloped country that's riddled by violence. And
Yemen?
so,
how do we go from Los Angeles to Yemen? I'm confused.
And so because we have more guns than any other country in the world, we have more gun deaths. We have more children who are accidentally shot. We have more children who accidentally shoot themselves. This happens every day in every state in the country. No, I'm saying Yemen is number 2 in guns per capita. In other words,
Do they have the same problems there, or do they attend to their guns properly?
My point is that no other country in the developed world allows the kind of guns that we have in this country. Guns, we're just awash in them. You know, inner city families are more likely in some counties to have a gun than a book. And so we constantly see this. This is not unusual. We see this every day in every state in the United States, children shooting each other with guns.
I want to go out to you. More likely to have a gun than a book. Is that out of necessity, or is that really the source that's a symptom of the problem here?
This is a false narrative. There are 50,000 deaths due to car crashes every year. Should we ban cars? Next, childhood death is due to drowning. What are you going to do? Ban pools? This is a false narrative.
I'll tell you what we do.
Excuse me.
I'll tell you what we do. We require.
Lisa, I let you speak.
Can I
Lisa, I let you
that?
speak. Lisa, I let you speak. No, because I let you speak. You have a very well-armed population in Switzerland with a very low crime rate, a very well-armed population in Israel. Yemen, this is a false narrative. And the guns that you refer to are illegal guns. Law-abiding citizens.
Okay, let me respond to that, because here's what we do with
tens of millions of guns in this country.
Parents to build
you are
a
not
safety
discussing
fence
the lives that are saved. Let's discuss the lives that are saved by guns.
It's going to be a filibuster.
Okay.
Hold on,
it's not a filibuster. Okay, you don't discuss the lives that are saved by guns.
Okay, let me respond to the point.
Would somebody be held accountable, Lisa, if they didn't put the fence around the pool?
Yeah, in
would
California,
they be guilty?
California, our state, used to have a very high number of child drownings. Families are now required to build a fence around pools, and guess what? The number of child drownings has gone way down.
If the child dies, are they held accountable for that death?
Well, they should be if they're negligent. I mean, that's a fact-intensive issue.
Well, maybe we should change the laws in regards to the people who handle the guns being responsible for any misadventures.
We can't even get those laws passed, Drew. We cannot, in this country, require child locks on guns.
Why not, Pam?
Like Pam?
What's going on, Pam? Why can't we get reasonable
This is what's going on. What's going on is you disarm the population. It's like sheep to slaughter. Because it's the Second Amendment for a reason. The First Amendment is freedom of speech. And the reason why we have freedom of speech is it protects all speech, not just ideas that we like. Because if you don't have freedom of speech, peaceful men have to resort to violence. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. And the main point of that, from Thomas Jefferson's point of view, and the notes, if you read the notes in the debate, was to protect it from a government out of control, tyranny. And gun control is a
path.
Isn't
what the Supreme Court has said
can I finish? Can I finish? It is about the Second Amendment. It is a path to tyranny. 1938. 1938. The Nazi gun control laws. 1938. Every single genocide was preceded. Hello. Every major genocide in the 20th century was preceded by gun control laws. Yes, parents have to be more responsible. Parents need to be more responsible. Do you think these parents want something to happen to their children?
But not putting child locks on guns.
Hold on a second. Pam, I hear your point, and I agree with you that that is what Thomas Jefferson set out. That is what the leaders in old Florence That was the reason for building forts, was to protect people from the government from the people. That's how it used to be. I don't know. I'm not sure that argument applies anymore, but I know that Thomas Jefferson did apply that argument. I want to take some Facebook comments from people who watch our program. This is Bella, who says, "We do not have so many guns in Canada, and I am glad." Also, Delian says, "Another accident, another victim of the ignorance of people who've been sucked in by the gun culture, ruling the most violent country on earth." And let's see if we get some positive emails or Facebooks here. Mike, very sad story about bad parents who must be held responsible. Not God, not guns. When are we going to start holding parents accountable? That's my point.
We should do both.
Pam, do you have any feeling about that?
Yeah, I do. I think that the death of these children destroyed these people's lives. I honestly don't believe that a nanny state is the answer to this. Accidents happen. This is purely anecdotal, and exception makes bad law. We have seen that time and time again.
So a police officer leaves a loaded gun in a car, and a 3-year-old gets his hands on it and shoots himself in this horrific tragedy. There should be no legal consequences. I mean, that's your position?
I think that the fact that this man lost his child is a terrible, terrible tragedy. I don't think he left it in the car for the child to find, to undo his seat. He didn't see that coming. Look,
I mean,
life is messy. Life is messy. Shiz happens, okay? And I think that this man is punished.
Well, you know
his
what?
family,
It doesn't
his
happen
family
in
is punished.
that have
His family is
reasonable
punished
gun
enough.
laws.
They have higher crime rates. The more gun control, the higher the crime rate. The ultimate question
I can give
is.
you a lot of.
Wait.
Can I give you one quick example?
Can I give you one quick example?
If I can be
Let me, as the
to
host,
speak.
say one quick thing on behalf of the viewers, and that is, early in the show, we reported a mother who killed her daughter in possibly a psychotic state. People are not of a mind to be making excuses for parents that are in any way held accountable for a child's death. Go ahead.
Let me give you a quick
did not
example.
kill
Now,
his
first of all,
child.
if I could please speak for one
Go
minute
ahead,
without interruption. Thank you. We incarcerate more of our citizens than any other country on earth, too. So throwing people constantly in prison is not really the answer. We have to look at prevention. And we have to look at what other countries do. Countries that are similar to us, Western Europe, Eastern Asia, and they have tens of thousands fewer gun deaths every year. Why?
Because they haven't taxed families. We have such a mess in our family systems.
I'll tell you why, Dr. Drew, because they used to have lax gun laws like we do. In the UK, for example, then they enacted very strict gun laws, and they have only a handful of people who die every year. They have reasonable gun laws, like parents have to lock up loaded guns. We have to have gun locks on guns. I mean, how could anybody possibly be opposed to that except for the far-right gun extremists who say everybody should just have a gun, including the mentally ill in Washington State.
Okay.
I mean, we can't even keep the guns out of the hands of mentally ill.
Nobody says
That's how
that.
crazy we are about guns in this country.
Nobody says that mentally ill should have guns. This is the far left, once again, exploiting a terrible tragedy to further their nefarious agenda. Listen, the ultimate question is, will allowing law-abiding citizens to own guns save lives?